shortstop. First pitch comes in and hits her. Wow. That's a rare, wild pitch from Marin. A high rise ball up and in, and she plunks Woolley to begin the ball game.
I'm not sure that was the plan, but
I would imagine not.
This is what I'll have to say about that. Woolley didn't have any doubles coming into the week in the season until this past game. So you eliminate some early leadoff hitting. Obviously doesn't feel like the plan, but you deal with the walk. You have a runner on first now. Try and start over and get into your groove.
Jasmine Hill, the senior right-hander, is now at the plate. Hit and run. So reaching second base on the ground out easily is Woolley, and Hill is retired at first base. And that functions the same as a sacrifice, as the Aggies have a runner on now in scoring position with one out.
You take the out when you can get it. Obviously the goal. Now you've got to be smart with your pitch selection and what you allow these hitters to do, as just like that, already a runner in scoring position.
And a good runner. Woolley tied for the team lead with 9 stolen bases on the season, as the senior Trinity Cannon steps in for the first time in the ball game to face Marin. That ball misses off the inside corner. 2 balls and no strikes on Cannon. So Woolley was hit by the pitch. Hill grounded out. Cannon now at the plate with Cottrell, the cleanup hitter, in the on-deck circle. That ball just missed the inside corner. Crowd does not like it, and the count's 3-0. Once you get past Cottrell, the next batter up in the Aggie lineup is Keely Williams, who we did not see in game 1, and that's a 4-pitch walk issued by Marin. So a hit batter and a walk, and there are 2 on with 1 out for the Aggies.
Something very early on in the season we didn't see Josie Marin allow quite often, where walks are hit by pitches. They've added up the past couple of weeks, but has to be smart with her pitch selection. And I don't think a walk is necessarily a bad thing in that situation. Now you have a potential double play in play, and you can get out of the inning. It would have been tough to try and turn a double play with a lone runner at second base.
The senior Julia Cottrell, who was the catcher in game 1 and is scheduled to be the catcher again here in game 2 for A&M, is at the plate. And again, Marin on that drop ball is just having a hard time hitting the inside corner on these right-handed batters here in the first inning.
And it feels like the catcher, Ella Wesolowski, is being very cautious of Woolley at second base. Has been holding that throw back to Marin and has taken a couple of jump steps forward, acting like she's going to throw it. We'll see if anything comes of it, but has been very cautious with that movement at second base.
Yeah, nice changeup on that last pitch from Marin. The count's 1-2. Breaking ball stays high, and the count evens up at 2-2. Well, the sun is out and the temperature is rising. It's turned into, as we expected, an absolutely gorgeous Saturday afternoon here in mid-March in Starkville, Mississippi. Cottrell hits it hard, fairly deep to right, and making a great over-the-shoulder catch is Cook. Tagging and scoring from second base will be Woolley. She tagged at second and scores. She advances 2 bases on a fly ball out and scores, as Cook had to go over the shoulder all the way to the wall, and A&M leads 1-0 in the first.
Yeah, and smart base running from Woolley, who once she tagged was able to turn around and look to see that throw from Paige Cook had missed the cutoff man, and when she realized it was just making its way through the infield on the ground, was able to really take off and put an early run on the board for A&M.
So good plays both ways on that last ball, as Cottrell flies out to right. Nice grab near the wall by Cook. Cannon goes to second. Woolley goes to third, and they actually will score that a throwing error on Paige Cook, which allows Woolley to score. Now a bouncing comebacker to Marin off the bat of Williams, the DP. And a good job there fielding her position by Marin, and the inning is over. 1 run on 0 hits and 1 error as the Aggies manufacture a California native who is undefeated so far this year, Cody.
Yeah, it's had a solid start. You have to have a solid start when a team like A&M comes in with 24 wins and 2 losses. So everyone's playing well, including Levitt. Obviously, she saw what her team and Emily Kennedy did in game 1 and obviously wants to continue that work in the circle.
She'll face the Bulldogs' leadoff hitter here in the home half of the first, Sierra Sacco. Sacco batting .328 on the year. Is one of 6 Bulldogs who has recorded over 20 hits on the year. Shows bunt and takes it on the outside corner for a strike, and the count evens up. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Nicely done by Levitt. The ERA for Emily Levitt is 2.15. This will be her 11th appearance and 6th start of the season. She's thrown just over 29 innings on the year. And there you see the big difference between Kennedy, the winning pitcher for A&M in game 1, and pretty much everyone else on the roster. She's thrown over 80 innings on the season. Kennedy has. No one else even close to that on A&M's roster in terms of innings thrown this year.
Yeah, and you expect a little bit of a drop-off when talking about your ace. And when your ace is one of the best pitchers in the nation with all your other starters and relief pitchers, I mean, less innings, you see a little higher ERA. Still a really solid ERA, though. But when you have someone like Emily Kennedy who is getting the work done for you and it's working and you're winning games, it's hard to get away from her.
Sacco will be followed in the lineup today by Barbary and Cook, and then Madison Kennedy, if anyone can reach. Payoff pitch just at the waist. Boy, Sacco thought it was high and thought it was ball 4, but it was called strike 3. And that'll be a strikeout to begin the inning. Ooh.
Not sure. I don't agree with Sacco. Looks a little high, had a little bit of help from the catcher, Cottrell, who, you know, catchers try and help their pitchers as best they can, and it works this time for her.
We'll see if that gets called a strike as the ball game goes on. In the meantime, Nadia Barbary, the sophomore out of Douglasville, Georgia, steps in for the first time in the game to face Levitt. The Bulldog third baseman tries to go the opposite way and fouls it off out of play for a strike. And she is in the hole quickly, 0-2. Check the swing on a ball that was way outside the zone. They'll appeal, and yeah, not even close. I guess it never hurts to ask.
Yeah, it's one of those things where she definitely started that swinging motion, but able to check back in time when she realizes this is a strikeout and it's way outside when I can get a ball.
That ball fouled back, so we'll do it again as Barbary will stay alive. The Aggies have Levitt in the circle, Cottrell behind the plate, Cannon at right, or at first, rather. Wiggins at second, Woolley at short, Howell is your starting third baseman. That's a breaking ball that stayed high. Good take by Barbary, and the count is now even, 2-2.
Yeah, Barbary put herself in a hole early on with that 0-2 count, trying to ease herself back into it. Keeps this at-bat alive. A walk is good, a hit works too, whatever she can get, but State needs to find some early base runners, and fouling it off isn't a bad thing. Gets that pitch count up, keeps her at-bat alive. We saw the A&M batters do this quite often with the Mississippi State pitchers in Game 1.
Good job to stay alive, indeed, by Barbary. And the deeper you make Levitt or any pitcher go into a pitch count, then the more of her arsenal you see, and that gives you more opportunities to adjust to what she has in her toolbox as she throws the rise ball right past Barbary. Big time pitch right there for a strikeout.
Yeah, good looking pitch from Levitt, who the second that ball left her hand just continued to rise and got Barbary swinging, and outs and out. You take what you can get sometimes.
No one on and 2 gone as Paige Cook steps up for the first time in the ball game. Back-to-back strikeouts for Levitt here in the first.
And going back to pitch count like you were talking, you're in Game 2 now. This is kind of where you start thinking a little strategy too. With as much as Emily Kennedy has been used, you would assume she would see some action come tomorrow in Game 3.
Cook flies out to left as we head to inning number 2 in Starkville. Alongside Cody Blazak, I'm Anthony Craven. Allie Enright leads off the inning for Texas A&M and takes ball 1 downstairs from Marin. Texas A&M leads 1-0 over Mississippi State. The Aggies manufactured a run in their first at-bat despite not getting a hit. You had a hit by pitch, a walk, and an error that led to A&M scoring the first run of the ball game. 1-1 the count on Enright, followed in the lineup this inning by Wiggins and Eshte. Grounder over to Edwards, flipped over to Kennedy at first for the out, 6-3, and Enright is retired. That's how the top of the second begins.
Yeah, and as a Bulldog, if you are a Bulldog fan, probably relieved that first out in the second inning came quick, considering the nightmare of an inning it was in Game 1.
Yeah, that's where things, or this is where things unraveled for the Bulldogs earlier today, as A&M scored 7 runs in their second at-bat. There's a strike delivered nicely by Marin to Rylan Wiggins, a senior right-handed hitting middle infielder for the Aggies. Down low in the dirt, rolls away from Wesolowski.
Yeah, you take that second inning of Game 1, too, which was kind of, I would call it, an anomaly from Mississippi State, just something you don't really see from them defensively and allowing to other offenses. You take that away, and I know you always talk woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's a 2-run game at that point, and who knows what happens if it's not a run rule. But sometimes it's the nature of the game. It happens, and you try and bounce back whenever you play them next. In that case, it's 45 minutes later.
Right. That's the beauty of softball, right? A painful loss, flush it, let's turn around and play again.
Yeah, if you're into revenge, here's your revenge match, just like that. It's on your mind, you're ready, you know what they can do. You just saw it, and you've been preparing for it, so now here's the opportunity to turn things in your favor.
The pitch to Wiggins misses. She either thought it was ball 4 or she thought the ball hit her.
Yeah.
Either way, she was called back to home plate quickly.
I agree with you. I'm not sure what she thought. Now, it did get awfully close to her. Not entirely sure it did get her, but it was close.
The payoff pitch. Now, the crowd's not going to like it because that's the same location that was called for a strike against Mississippi State last half inning.
If I recall, I believe it was against Nadia Barbary, or it might have been Sacco.
Sacco,
It was Sacco to strike her out, and Sacco's pitch was way upstairs. This one looked like it had a little bit of upstairs and outside, so yeah, a little bit of confusion, not a whole lot of cheers from the home crowd.
It'll be up to the players on both sides to adjust to the strike zone. Jose Chaparro is our home plate umpire. Ball lifted out to left. St. Clair runs underneath it and makes the catch. And that'll be the second out of this half inning. St. Clair in left, Sacco in center, Cook in right. That's your Bulldog outfield. The infield from left to right features Barbary, Edwards, Hawkins, and Kennedy. And then, of course, Marin and Wesolowski, the starting battery. Powell steps up, hits a two-hopper out to Hawkins, who flips it over to first in time, 4-3. Powell retired, and so are the Aggies on campus at Mississippi State. Beautiful Saturday afternoon at News Park. Alongside Cody Blazak, I'm Anthony Craven.
We've got a sign from a fan behind Mississippi State's dugout rooting for Madison Kennedy to hit a home run as well.
There you go. I was trying to figure out. See, I can't. Coming back from break, you're distracted by something. All I have is a wall in front of me, so I have no clue what you're pointing at.
It's not held up anymore, but it's a nice little sign that's saying hit a home run, trying to get the team going.
Well, she has hit 9 of them this year as she fouls that one straight back. It'll be Kennedy, followed in the Bulldog lineup by Hawkins and Wesolowski. The Bulldogs have moved Hawkins and Wesolowski up a little bit in the lineup and have bumped Blaine back down to the 7-hole. That ball is hit off the dirt, and jumping up and making the catch is Powell. She throws the first in time to get the out. Good defense there on the A&M left side of the infield.
What a play from Powell at third base. It looks like it was going to hop straight over her, and able to time her jump correctly and just gets in the netting of her glove to get the out. Otherwise, that's at least a base hit.
And it brings up Hawkins with no one on and one gone. She takes strike one on the inside corner from Levitt. Hawkins, a 5'4" freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. There you see the really good numbers for her in this, her rookie season. Fouls that one back off the catcher's mask, and she'll fall into the 0-2 hole. High fly ball, not very deep though. Calling for it is the shortstop, and Woolley out in shallow left makes the grab for out number 2.
Yeah, and we talked about the speed of this A&M team running the bases, but even for a play like that, you usually see an outfielder try and range forward to get it, and now you see the shortstop Woolley ranging back, and it felt like in the blink of an eye, she was from the infield to the outfield making that play.
The speed of A&M offensively and defensively has been key today for them, as the freshman Bulldog catcher Ella Wesolowski steps up for the first time in the ball game. High fly ball, fairly deep to left. Calling for it is Eshte, and it's a quick inning for Levitt and the Aggies. Bulldogs retired in order in the second. A&M maintains their 1-0 lead.
If people get real warm, you got short sleeves right now, and if you're a little more, get a little colder than others, you might need a little more, but it's still comfortable.
It's also one of those afternoons where if you're able to move around, I would highly suggest you sit in the sun.
Yeah, we're up in the shade. I'm not cold, but it is a little cool.
I guarantee you it's easily 10 degrees warmer in the stands.
I would
than it
imagine
is
so.
where we're sitting. Coco Woolley, leadoff hitter in the order, will lead off the inning for Texas A&M. A very good hitter, 344 the average, 22 base hits, couple of doubles, a triple, on base percentage of .400. Has already been on base once today, was hit by a pitch her first time up. Look at there, bounces one right in between the bag at second and a diving Edwards for a base hit. And she continues to have a near career afternoon at the plate today against the Bulldogs. And always a threat to run. So leadoff single, and at the plate now is the center fielder Jasmine Hill, who is 0 for 1 today, but a .383 hitter on the season. She grounded out to Hawkins at second, her first time up. That ball catches the outside corner, nicely done. It definitely seems as if the upper half of the strike zone is larger and more forgiving than the bottom half. That's the early returns from my vantage point of the strike zone today.
Yeah, that would seem to be the case, and for right now at least, it might be smart to try and target that upper part of the strike zone and call it safe for now, see if you can get the call, and if it changes throughout the game, adjust from there.
Jasmine Hill has a 1-2 count on her as she tries to at least move the runner, if not reach base herself. And again, has to fight that one off. One thing that I really like about Jasmine Hill is her ability to fight and to foul off a lot of balls once she falls behind in the count. The one negative, though, I've only seen her now in a game and a half, is she falls behind the count a lot. It puts herself in a position where she has to foul balls off, as that one is fouled off barely. That ball was almost extra bases and would have scored Woolley from first base, but instead it went maybe a foot foul in left, so we'll do it again.
That is a hit that you're holding your breath over, because you saw Woolley already rounding second, making it to third by the time started slowing down, and St. Clair was near the ball, but still had a ways to go and would not have been surprised if it scored Woolley.
Woolley remains at first. No one out, top of the third. Little slow roller foul. It rolled fair and was picked up by the catcher Wesolowski, but it had already, I think, hit home plate. So the at-bat continues. The count remains 2-2 on Hill, who has 26 hits on the season, most on the team. Make it 27 as she bounces one right in front of Cook. Cook was drawn in. She knows the scouting report well, but Hill still able to drop one in there for a base knock. So back-to-back hits to begin the inning for A&M, and the Aggies are in business.
Just puts it into right field, right over the head of Salyn Hawkins. Nothing you can do about it. Even if Salyn Hawkins had 3 more feet of height, I'm still not sure she's getting to that ball. So just a very well hit and well placed ball.
And it brings up A&M's first baseman, Trinity Cannon. So the top 3 in the lineup have been the top 3 hitters due up this half inning, which has so far worked out well for the Aggies, as Cannon takes a big cut, misses at that ball delivered by Marin, and the count's 1-1.
This is another inning you'd really like to get out of if you're Mississippi State.
Going to be a tough play at first. The throw is made in time. And coming home and scoring is going to be Woolley. Boy, the Bulldog infield got caught napping that time, and A&M's base running expertise manufactures another run.
Yeah, good play to get it to first, and then at first, Madison Kennedy just trying to really didn't even think about it is what it looked like, and tossed it to Josie Marin. All the meanwhile, Woolley is sitting at third base in between third and home.
Ground ball, flip to third, tag applied in time, relay throw not in time. So out at third base is Hill. The Bulldogs did a good job right there to get the lead runner in that situation. Reaching first on the fielder's choice is Control. So 1 on and 2 gone now here in the top of the third as A&M's on top 2-0. We have seen just in this ball game now, Woolley use her speed to almost self-manufacture a couple of runs.
Yeah, she is a threat that if she gets on base, you have to be very cautious and keep an eye on her just because of what she can do with her speed. And she doesn't need a whole lot of time or a bad pitch or anything to make that happen. She can just do it because of her skill set.
The left-handed hitter, Williams, who is 0 for 1 today at the plate, rolls that one foul up the line towards first. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Williams, a .260 hitter on the year. As Cottrell runs at first base. Didn't see Williams in game 1, but she is the starting DP in game 2. Comebacker, gloved by Marin, flipped to first in time. So the Bulldogs, that's why you'll notice some of the pink bows and ribbons and accents as part of the players' uniforms today.
You even see the catcher for Mississippi State, Ella Wesolowski, in all pink catcher's gear.
She's all in, Cody.
She is.
Jesse Blaine, the Bulldog DP, will lead things off this half inning. Blaine batting in the 7-hole, which is a bit of a change from recent lineups. Blaine, Edwards, and St. Clair, the bottom 3 in the lineup, due up here in the third as Levitt has faced the minimum so far through 2. Blaine takes it off the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike goes the count. Blaine, a transfer from Auburn's, had a good year. .355 hitter, .487 on base percentage, and is slugging at a .645 clip as she fouls that one back towards the first base dugout, and the count evens up 2-2. Lots of stuff happening around the SEC today. Softball and baseball now are in league play as Blaine turns on that one. This is the second weekend of softball conference activity, first weekend of baseball conference activity, and plus you've got the men's basketball tournament still going on in Nashville. Plus you got men's and women's tennis and golf tournaments, track and field meets. This time of year, the month of March is probably, as far as the SEC calendar is concerned, the busiest month of the year.
Yeah, and even last week, you had the SEC women's basketball tournament going on. So, I mean, yeah, the SEC likes to have some fun and play a bunch of games in the month of March.
You have the overlap of almost every single spring sport this month.
Hey, it's a good time if you're a sports fan. That's all that means. March should be your favorite month of the year.
It is for me.
I think it is for a lot of us.
As someone who is a hardcore basketball fan. I mean, I know tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, but for me...
It's not St. Patrick's Day, it's Selection Sunday.
Somebody had to tell me. Like, well, you know, tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. I'm like, I don't care what the dates... I don't care what does the calendar say? I don't care. All I know is that tomorrow the Field of 68 is revealed.
Well, you just told me, because I didn't know tomorrow was St. Patrick's Day.
Well, you're a man after my own heart, Cody. I knew I liked you. I mean, I will be like a kid on Christmas Eve tonight.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
doing my own bracketology. I'm like, okay, who's in? Who's out?
we get to figure it all out, get a couple of conference championships tonight. The rest follow tomorrow, and then tomorrow night, the men's and women's field is revealed.
That's right, back to back. So I think the SEC on the men's side will get 8 teams in. And on the women's side, at least 6, maybe 7. And maybe more. We'll see. There's more bubble teams on the women's side from the league than on the men's side. The men's side, I'm not sure there are any bubble teams now.
Yeah, there were a couple until they decided to make some runs in the SEC tournament.
Right. Mississippi State and Texas A&M.
2 of those teams that are playing today.
That's right. These 2 schools, their men's basketball teams, both had huge wins the last couple of days in Nashville to essentially remove any doubt about whether or not they would be in the big dance beginning next week. Only question is, what will their seeding be and who will they be playing? Meanwhile, while we did all that, Jesse Blaine drew a walk to lead off the inning. Kylie Edwards hits one into right field, getting the ball in quickly from right field. Was Enright, and I'll be honest, I thought Enright had to play it first if she wanted to make it. Instead, she chose to go to second, and everyone is safe.
It would have been close at first. You had the opportunity to. Instead, you go second, tried to get the lead runner, and Bulldogs, 2 runners on base, no outs. Only down 2, opportunity to try and manufacture some runs.
So Blaine draws the walk. Edwards gets the hit to the opposite side. And now we got St. Clair, the 9-hole hitter, and Slapper at the plate, trying to bunt her way on or at least move the runners over, but could not get it put down in fair territory. Now that ball goes low and outside. And really for the first time all day in either ball game, Cody, State putting pressure on A&M defensively.
Yeah, we saw a couple of times in game 1, they were able to get some runners on base early without any outs. They were already down quite a bit of runs.
Throw to first, not in time. St. Clair puts down a beautiful bunt. Texas A&M might want a replay here. We'll see.
The crowd loves it, though. I don't think we've heard a cheer from the crowd this loud today.
And it's a pretty big crowd.
And that's a great bunt from Briley St. Clair. Just puts it straight in the dirt. A little bit of forward momentum makes it really tough for Cottrell to try and make a play. And it looks like we are going to get a review.
Yes, and you can't blame Coach Ford for asking for the review. I will say in real time, very close, but she looks safe, which is why she was called safe. And so because the call was safe, that means on the review, it has to be obvious that she is out in order to return or to overturn the call.
Yeah, and it was close. But either way, if the play is confirmed or it stands and she's safe at first, great for Mississippi State. They've got bases loaded, no out. However, if she is called out, still able to advance those base runners coming to the top of the lineup. So I think it's a win-win in either scenario. However, it's a bigger win if she is safe at first.
Exactly. It's already mission accomplished for St. Clair. Now we'll see if her being safe will be the icing on the cake or not.
Yeah. Now,
okay.
If they were.
There we go. The call is confirmed. She is safe, and Mississippi State has their best chance to score all day long in this doubleheader. Bases are juiced, and no one is out.
Yeah, and in game one, here's another look at the replay. And St. Clair beats it barely. Whew. It might have been one of those tie goes to the runner sort of things. But nonetheless, they're going to call her safe, and we saw in game one, we also had a couple of challenges or a couple of reviews, I should say. They went Texas A&M's way in game two. It's State's way at the moment.
That was much closer
in replay than it was in full time?
Yeah, well, but even at first glance, I didn't think it was that bang-bang. But that last look we saw, which is the best look, and I'm sure that was the look that they had back in the replay center, that was really, really close. Snap throw to third, speaking of close, diving back to the bag safely is Blaine. And the count to the top of the order hitter, Sacco, is a ball and a strike.
Talk about a snap throw. Wow, that was quick and right where it needed to be at third.
Yeah, Cottrell has an arm. Sacco hits one up the middle for a base hit. This will score one. Blaine will cross home plate. Everyone moves up, station to station. Edwards had to hold up at second because she wasn't sure if that ball would be caught or not by Hill in center. So State is on the board, their first run today.
Yeah, you see her hesitate for a moment. I'm not sure that she would have scored either way. That would have been a close play.
Victories in the circle. And yet another ERA of under 2.0.
We were talking earlier in the first inning, first and second inning, I believe. You play the double header, as there are quite a bit of boos on strike one.
Yeah, that ball has not been called a strike all day until right now.
Got to adjust. You always wonder, it was a high strike zone early on. You got to wonder how long it stays like that. But in innings 1 and 2, we were talking about playing a doubleheader in conference play. You get game 3 tomorrow. You got to start thinking strategy in this game too. And we talked about pitch counts and battling at the plate. If you can get, and this goes for both teams, if you can get teams to use extra pitchers, that limits who and how much they might play come game 3 tomorrow. You look at Emily Kennedy, who threw just north of 70 pitches today. You would imagine you'd probably see her at some point tomorrow. May not start, but might come in relief. But if you can get some pitchers in and out of this game for A&M, it gives you a better chance come tomorrow for the Bulldogs. And the same way goes for A&M. If you can start racking up the pitch count for Josie Marin and get a couple of their relief pitchers in, it becomes who's available for tomorrow.
Exactly. Barbary hits one high in the air. Should be able to score a run. Caught by Eshte. Throw home is going to be in time. They're going to call her out at home plate. Sliding in was Edwards. Really close play. Edwards goes in head first. Well, that's close.
I think she is out. However, it's close, but that a ball hit the ground and skipped right into the glove of Cottrell, who is able to, as she's making the catch, just bring her glove down and tag Edwards. If it is reviewed, I think the play is going to stand.
It's what Samantha Ricketts is asking for initially is, can the officials get together and can the home plate umpire ask if someone else had a better angle? Now she's going to ask for the full-on review, which makes sense. I mean, you get a couple of these coaches' challenges per game, and you might as well use them.
Yeah, I agree, and it also comes into question. You have the ruling now where you cannot block the base path or the base without having possession of the ball. That also comes into play, and I think in this scenario, Cottrell is out of that base path until she's trying to tag Edwards.
What makes this call a little tricky is that the throw and the tag is all behind home plate and behind the runner, Edwards. So you have to try to judge whether the hand hit home plate first. Okay, so there you go. Well, and now the umpire's mic works. There you go. I had no idea they had a mic.
I did know they had a mic, just sometimes you forget to use it. Uses it that time, and Edwards is out at home, and look at that.
They haven't used the mic all day. So the play is upheld. Great throw from Eshte in left, and a good job to get the tag down just in time by Cottrell. And now Cook comes up. She pops it up, and it will land in the Bulldog dugout for strike one. Well,
yeah, I think if you're Paige Cook, you're happy that ball went foul right now because you've had such great opportunities in this inning. If you're Mississippi State, you really do not want to get out of this inning without at least tying it at the bare minimum. A sac fly would be nice. The issue is there's 2 outs.
Yeah, I mean, that double play changed the complexion of the entire inning. And Eshte just made a great throw. Right on line.
It's the right call to send Edwards home. Edwards has some speed. It just, I mean, it was a rocket that came out of Eshde's arm to home, and nothing you can do about that.
And when the ball hit the dirt, it seemed to actually pick up speed when it bounced towards home plate. You never know how that ball is going to be spinning. Swing and a miss. Big time cut right there, Cook. Now faces a 2-2 count with 2 on and 2 outs. We've got Deuces Wild here in the home half of the third in a 1-run ball game. Cook hits it up high in the air, should be caught on the infield. Calling for it is Wiggins, and she makes the grab. So State gets a run on the board, but perhaps a missed opportunity is loaded. No one out, and only got 1 run out of that situation.
Yeah, and I think a lot of credit goes to the defense of Texas A&M, the catch in left field, and just the bullet home to get Edwards in the double play and just to take care of business from there. I think just really speaks to why Texas A&M is as good as they are, and I think it kind of tells you why they've been dominant in this season so far.
Yeah, the Aggies now 24-2 on the year, 4-0 in the SEC as Allie Enright leads off the inning. A 1-hopper back to the circle. Marin's throw is in time to get the out. Marin's done a good job playing defender in the circle today.
Yeah, and I know in those scenarios where it's hit straight back to the pitcher with some pace, you don't have to be in a huge rush because it's not a very difficult play to make, but just the speed from A&M still makes it close. That is a lot closer play at first than it should be routinely.
At the plate now is Wiggins, who fouls back the first pitch. Strike 1. Rylan Wiggins, the Aggies' right-handed hitting second baseman. Bats 7th in the lineup today, 323 hitter. Was walked her first time up. Fouls that one straight back off the screen. And she is in the hole, 0-2. The Bulldogs have a brand new right fielder in the ball game, as Jaden Burney is now in right field in place of Paige Cook. Ground ball, going to be a tough play at first. Throw is made in time. Good job at Barbary, because Wiggins also has some wheels on her, and that'll be out number 2.
Yeah, and I think very smart from Barbary. You only see one crow hop before you make that throw. Sometimes you see a couple of them, and they just hold for a second, and she got that release down very quick. And I think that's what you have to do against a team like A&M, who is quick running the bases. You don't have time to hesitate.
Kramer Eshte, who made the outfield assist on that throw to the plate to retire Edwards and to help get the Aggies out of that home half of the third. Limiting State to just 1 run, is now at the plate. Hits that one hard right towards the Bulldog dugout. Got to always be aware of the ricochets off the back wall of the dugout.
Yeah, even when the dugout's not out playing defense, you're still playing defense.
Always. Head on a swivel at all times. The 0-2. Breaking ball stayed high. A ball and 2 strikes on Eshte, who flew out to left her first time up. So the junior left-handed hitter is 0 for 1 in this game and is now batting .286 on the season. Batting in the number 8 spot in the lineup this afternoon. Swing and a miss. Good job by Marin. Good inning. And the Aggies, Zach, I'm Anthony Craven. Great to be with you for a good old-fashioned Saturday double dip of SEC softball. Back in the circle as part of this relief appearance is Ackerman, second Aggie pitcher used in this ball game. She'll face Kennedy, Hawkins, and Wesolowski for the first time. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch.
You know, and right now kind of feels like Madison Kennedy is the jolt Mississippi State needs. Has found herself in an early 0-2 count.
The Bulldogs have not had an extra base hit all day. They only had 2 hits in game 1, which they lost 9-0. They have 3 hits so far in this ball game. Oh, she went around. Got her chasing the rise ball outside, and Kennedy goes down on strikes.
Yeah, and you can just tell, checks that swing. She knew it was way outside, but had just gone too far around by the time she was able to check it.
And listen, if you're a pitcher and you want to have success on Kennedy, you got to be able to locate the rise ball. And it's got to have some low movement, because with Kennedy's swing, if you're a drop ball pitcher, well, good luck.
Yeah, see if she doesn't send that to the highway.
No one on, 1 gone for the freshman Hawkins. Ackerman, great job, just paints the inside corner against the right-hander. 1-1 goes the count. Hawkins flew out, actually popped out to the shortstop Woolley, her first time up. Checks that swing, takes it downstairs. Count is now 2 balls and a strike. A&M trying to sweep the doubleheader and take the series. Bulldogs trying to come back after getting run ruled and suffering their first home loss of the year earlier today to get a split of today's activity and force a rubber match tomorrow. And for many reasons, this ball game right now really important for State. And one of them is, you know, tomorrow you're going to see Kennedy in the circle again. So it is really important that you find a way to win this ball game, or else you're going to be in a real tight spot tomorrow, as Hawkins got out in front of that one. That was the pitch she wanted to hit, and she simply got out in front of it and fouls it back. 2-2 the count.
To your point, though, they saw how much they struggled against Emily Kennedy today, and if you could somehow take this game and force a rubber match tomorrow, you go in with some momentum, and maybe you get lucky, she has an off day, maybe you get hot at the plate early, whatever it may be, you have an opportunity. But the opposite goes for Texas A&M right now. They've played well in all aspects. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Also, State now has 5 innings of at-bats against Kennedy. So they've now seen what she can do, and you would imagine they'll be able to time their swings up a little bit better tomorrow. Plus, who knows what would have happened, because that top of the second just skewed everything in that first ball game. State really couldn't do what they wanted to do offensively. They had to change the approach, had to change personnel. They couldn't really slap the way they wanted to, as Hawkins pops it up left side. Calling for it is Powell. She makes the catch for out number 2. So those are all the storylines to follow tomorrow. Right now, though, we still got a lot of business to attend to. Bottom of the 4th. We're getting into the second half of the ball game now, as Wesolowski steps up. 2 gone, no one on. She's 0 for 1 today. That's right in there for a strike. Ackerman, since coming on in relief, has thrown an inning and 2/3 of no-hit softball. The Bulldogs had, I think, 4 batters reach base safely last inning to begin the inning. And the A&M makes the change, and nothing since then. This ball, foul territory, gloved by Cannon. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Ackerman and the Aggies. And we stay. Victory for the Aggies. It has been much more even so far here in game 2. Mississippi State trailing A&M by a score of 2-1 after 4 complete innings. Marin back in the circle, delivering a ball to Powell that she immediately deposits into left center field for a leadoff single.
And Powell looked like she might have even thought about going to second. I mean,
why not?
Some of the speed is just really amazing, because it looked like she had already reached first by the time that ball had hit the ground in the outfield, and it would have been a tough play to make second, but rounding first, that is, like she was going to.
And immediately, Woolley, the leadoff hitter in the lineup, wastes no time and slaps one the opposite way right past Barbary. And the Aggies here in the 5th are in business. 2 on, first and second, no one out for Jasmine Hill. So Powell got her first hit to lead off the inning. Woolley just got her first hit of the ball game. Hill already has 1 hit today. And now make it 2, perhaps? No! Caught by Sacco, tagging, and advancing to third is Powell. And I thought for a second the Bulldogs might throw to second just to see.
You look at the replay, just sends it straight over to Sacco, and then at first really thought about it again was Woolley, but decided to stay at 1. Kylie Edwards at shortstop kind of hesitated before making the throw to third and then to first, and really held up and ended the play there. And I think a wise move from Kylie Edwards.
Nice catch by Sacco, because Hill tattooed that ball. And off the bat, I thought that it would get over Sacco's head, but she did a good job to track it down and make the catch. Good alert base running by Powell. The Bulldogs called time. There you see head coach Samantha Ricketts and pitching coach Taryn Mowat McKinney. A couple of All-Americans back in their days at Oklahoma and Arizona.
You have a little conference in the circle with...
Oh, the ball gets away. That's going to score a run. Ball rolls away. Some miscommunication there from Mississippi State, despite them talking about it during the timeout. Some mis-execution there, and A&M's going to score and make it a 3-1 ball game.
And let's watch the play here. Edwards misses it and then gets a little shove at the end and not able to get the ball. She didn't like it, nothing called, but...
Well, and it wouldn't have mattered because it's going to be a base hit that would have scored the run anyway. Base hit the opposite way off the bat of Cannon, and the Aggies are now on top 4-1. Big inning right here for Texas A&M, and still just the one out.
And you wonder how much longer you'll see Josie Marin in the circle. It looks like Lexi Sosa and Hosanna Lindblade are in the bullpen warming up just in case.
The Bulldogs used Aspen Wesley and Matalasi Fapito in game 1. And so far it's been Marin who has gone the distance in game 2. So 3 pitchers have been used by both teams today. Edwards goes out and grabs that one out of the air nicely. A flare out to shallow left center off the bat of Cottrell. Cannon, it's actually going to be a pinch hitter at first base, isn't it? I mean, a pinch runner. And now it might also be a pinch hitter at the plate. It will be. Number 24, Perez. That's Maya Perez will hit. Well, I guess it is still Cannon running for herself, isn't it, at first base?
I believe that is the case.
Up the middle. No. I thought for a second Hawkins might get to it, and Cannon stayed on her horse and goes all the way around and ends up at third base. Runners at the corners, a pinch hit single. On the first pitch she sees, Perez hits it off the glove of Hawkins, and the Aggies on the cusp of a big 5th inning.
Yeah, and great effort from Salem Hawkins at second, trying to make that play, but that ball was well out of her reach. She really did a great job of trying to get in position and at least attempting to make a play on it, but it's just one of those hits that was just a little too far out of her way to actually make the play.
And that's the 4th hit this inning for A&M. Powell, Woolley, Cannon, and Perez have all recorded base hits. And the Aggies have scored 2 runs, looking for more. Grounder, that's bouncing foul, third base side for a strike, 1-1 the count. Cannon at first, Cannon at third, Perez at first. With Enright, who is 0 for 2 today at the plate. Hits one towards the gap. If it drops, it's going to drop on top and bounce over for a 3-run home run. A&M has broken it open here in the 5th inning, and I think Allie Enright actually injured herself jogging around the bases, but I'm sure the fact that she got a 3-run home run makes her feel better. Off the bat, Cody, I thought that ball was going to hit at the wall.
Yeah, it was close. You take a look here, just sails over, and I don't think it hit off of
You're right.
the wall. I think it hit the pole and then hit
right.
the wall and bounced out. So regardless,
Man.
I mean, it cleared the wall by plenty.
Man, that ball was hit much harder than I thought it was initially. Allie Enright, her first hit today. And it breaks the game wide open. Aggies on top now by 6. Boy, they have been so impressive today in this doubleheader.
Yeah, they've got that one inning where they just kind of blow the game open. And game one, it was the second inning. Now it's the 5th. And just like that, they have a 6-run lead.
Swing and a miss on a changeup. Nicely done by Marin. Well, coming into this inning, A&M only had 2 hits. But in this inning, 5 hits. The Bulldogs have also committed an error. That was on the ball that was thrown to second base, trying to get the runner out stealing. So that still means every run this inning has been an earned run. Slow roller off the end of the bat. Throw to first is made in time, and out is Wiggins to end the inning. A&M, though, scores 5 runs on 5 hits. They are on the cusp of sweeping a doubleheader on the road against previously unbeaten at home Mississippi State. We got a long way to go, but A&M, to me, looks every bit the part of a top 10 team and an SEC title contender at this point of the season.
Yeah, last week, like you said, swept the 22nd ranked team in the nation, and now you get number 21 Mississippi State in Starkville at home for Mississippi State. You run-ruled them in game one. The second one was close until you dominated that 5th inning. And listen, nationally, they believe South Carolina and Mississippi State are ranked teams at this point in time, and Texas A&M has played very, very well and done their job beating them, well, beating Mississippi State through one game and currently beating them at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. A&M is one of those teams at this point in the season that has the ability, has the depth, has the players to be a top 10 team, if not make a run in the tournament.
Like we said, long way to go, but A&M has looked very, very good these first 2 weekends of the conference season. Jesse Blaine struck out looking to begin this inning for Mississippi State. Now Kylie Edwards will step up. And listen, this ball game changed when A&M made the pitching change and brought in Ackerman. She has gone 2 1/3 and has allowed 0 hits. No walks, 2 strikeouts.
And Levitt was playing well, too. Just got herself dug herself a hole, had bases loaded. They allowed the 1 run, and then they had to put Ackerman in. And from there, no issues. It's been smooth sailing for Texas A&M.
The count on Edwards is a ball and 2 strikes. Edwards did a good job to choke up there, shorten the swing, and will stay alive. The count remains 1-2. Edwards today in this ball game, 1 for 1. Had a single in the 3rd, but was left. Actually, she was thrown out trying to score in that inning. And really, that's the one play that kind of changed the complexion of the ball game.
Yeah, you had already had the out from the pop-up into the outfield and recorded the second out just like that with Edwards trying to take home. You wonder what this ball game is like if she successfully gets home. Would have tied it up at the time at 2-2, and I believe would have had a runner on second with only 1 out in that 3rd inning.
And kudos to A&M for as soon as they saw a small crack in the dam, went ahead and made the pitching change. Different style of pitcher. And Ackerman has come in and just completely shut the door and now has a 6-run cushion to work with. The count's full on Edwards. Here comes the payoff pitch. Good take by Edwards. Downstairs. That's a veteran at bat from a freshman, and she'll be on base yet again.
I believe that's the 10th walk that she has drawn this season, and hey, scoring runs starts somewhere, whether it's with a hit, a walk, getting hit by a pitch, whatever it may be. So if State wants to get themselves back into this, they've got to find base runners somehow. You can't expect to go to the plate and hit 6 home runs to tie this up. You got to play smart softball, whether it is getting walks or getting hits, and playing as a team and hitting each other in. We've seen it from Texas A&M. They do a little bit of it all. They like to include the long ball as well.
That ball dropped almost in no man's land, but a good job by Wiggins to alertly realize that she still had time to turn around and do the underhanded toss to second, and Edwards is out, forced out at second base on the ground ball off the bat of St. Clair, who reaches first on a fielder's choice. I'll tell you what, the Bulldogs have been outplayed today, but also they've caught 0 breaks. I mean, the ball has bounced A&M's way all game long, all day long in both games.
Yeah, they I can think of one singular break, and it was the challenge at first, which when we look back at it, if it was called out, it would have stayed out, and if it was called safe, it was setting safe. There was no evidence to overturn it either way. I think that's about the only break they have caught. Otherwise, I mean, it's been tough going for Mississippi State.
Sacco at the plate with 1 on and 2 gone. Sacco 1 for 2 in this game, and she was 0 for 2 in the first game today. A single, and has driven in the only run of the ball game for the Bulldogs. Only run in today's doubleheader scored so far by Mississippi State, driven in by Sacco. That was in the home half of the third. Just her 7th RBI this year. Just above the belt for a strike. Well, the rise balls have been working really well for Ackerman today. Good patience by Sacco, and the Dogs have 2 on. So State a chance to get back within striking distance right here. But they got to get a quality 2-out at bat from Barbary. Barbary 0 for 3 earlier today, and so far 0 for 2. So she is 0 for 5 combined. She's due. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm sure she would love a solid at-bat here, whether taking a walk or putting something into the outfield, really just putting a ball into play that doesn't record an out. Keep this inning alive. You already have 2 outs, but you want to keep this inning alive for your team and contribute to getting on base, if not hitting some of your teammates home.
Barbary was the one at the plate in the third that it looked like she was going to have a sac fly, RBI, hit it out to left, ends up being a double play.
Yeah, and for State, we talk about for Texas A&M all the speed they have. You probably have 2 of the faster players for Mississippi State at second and first with St. Clair and Sacco. So even something that isn't super deep might be able to advance these base runners quite far.
Barbary fights that one off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. St. Clair and Sacco at second and first, respectively. Barbary hits it high and deep, but foul and out of play. That was a ball in the strike zone, but a little bit off speed, and the right-hander Barbary turned on it a little too quickly. If she times that one up, that could be a 3-run home run.
Yeah, and that changes this entire game.
Ball's going to bounce through for a base hit. Coming around third is St. Clair. Throw home is bobbled, and the Dogs score. Stopping at third is Sacco. Barbary on the throw ends up at second, and the Bulldogs not back within striking distance yet, but a big time at bat right there by Barbary.
Yeah, and that's something that we talked about. You don't need anything special. You just need a quality hit, and a great job from the veteran St. Clair to just continue her stride, get through third. She was waved on home and kind of got that outside and made her slide late to the plate. Catcher wasn't able to hold on to the ball as it was, but is able to advance Sacco to third, and Barbary is able to advance to second.
So give Barbary credit for an RBI single, a 2-out, 2-strike. RBI single to right, or to left, rather. And it brings up Paige Cook. Cook back in the lineup now. She actually was taken out, and Bernie was put into right field, and now Cook has been reinserted into the ball game. Nothing and 1 the count. A base hit right here would change the ball game. Snap throw to third, and getting back standing up, no problem there, is Sacco.
And if you are a Mississippi State fan, I'm sure right now you are holding your breath and hoping Paige Cook gets on base with a hit, with a walk. It does not matter, because on deck is Madison Kennedy.
That ball is high, and the count is now in Cook's favor, 2-1. And yes, this is really, and I get it, there's still 2 more innings to go, but this is it right here, Avery State, right?
Yeah.
I mean, two on base, middle of the order due up, the heart of the order due up, a hitter's count to Paige Cook. It's now or never, right?
Yeah, you also look, they had something almost exactly similar to this in the bottom of the third inning, where they loaded the bases and ended up making a couple of mistakes and ended the inning.
Pop up near home plate, and the catcher grabs it. Paige Cook, just a tough luck at bat right there. Got a game against Marin, who remains in the circle for the Bulldogs. Hard hit ball, foul though, and out of play off to our left. Este had a hard time getting the bat around quickly enough on that pitch from Marin, a high velocity ball on the outside corner.
Yeah, you wonder where that ball would have landed if she did get around on time. Still a powerful hit.
How about that? Right on the barrel, but also right at the MSU shortstop Edwards for out number 1.
Yeah, and if you are Mississippi State, you kind of want this inning, the top of the 6th, to go by quick. Get the outs quick, get back to offense, back to the plate, and let's see if they can keep that offensive momentum going. I mean, straight to Kylie Edwards. I don't even think she moved for it.
Didn't have to, nope. 9-hole hitter Powell, who has been a thorn in the Bulldogs' side all day today in both games, now at the plate. Batting with a 1-0 count. Make it a 1-1 count, as Marin found the outside corner that time. But Marin has been efficient. She's been effective most of the ball game. But again, that rough half inning in the top of the fifth is the difference in this one, much like that rough second inning for State, a good one for A&M, was the difference in game one.
Yeah, that rough inning coming a little later in game two, and it's got to be aggravating if you're Mississippi State because you're playing it close. It's a one-run game up until then, and then you allow 5 to really let them take it over the top.
Wow, fooled badly was Powell on that strikeout. I mean, that is the movement on that ball. That thing moved about 2 feet in the air, and Powell goes down swinging.
High and upstairs, and nothing she could do about it. Great pitch from Marin.
That's one of those where you begin your swing, and as soon as you begin your swing, you go, oh no. But then you can't do it, you can't stop it, you know? When you're a slapper, when you commit to it, you are committed to it. And she got about a third of her way through her swing, and you could see it on her face. She was going, oh no, that was a bad idea. Ground ball foul, first base side for a strike. 1-2 the count on Coco Woolley. Woolley had 2 base hits in the first game, has 2 more hits in this game. So she has gone in today's doubleheader combined 4 for 6 with 4 for 6, but it's been a very unproductive 4 for 6. I say that. She has scored 3 times in this game. She didn't score a run or drive in a run earlier. Another base hit. 5 hits in the doubleheader today for the shortstop, Coco Woolley. My goodness, she has been so good today getting on base.
Continues to do it, and players like her is what's really helping out Texas A&M, or what I should say, putting them over the top. They just continue to perform. Not letting off the gas and just going to work.
Ball gets away from Wesolowski. Going all the way from first to third is Woolley. She took off to try to steal second. Then the ball got away from the catcher, and Woolley just kept on motoring around. And my goodness, her speed has had a significant impact on today's doubleheader. Give her credit for a stolen base at second. And then we're going to charge Marin with a wild pitch, which allows her to go to third. That's going to be the official scoring on that play. Jasmine Hill, 1 for 3 ball games so far, a single in the third, when A&M scored 1 run. Check swing, and the ball's fouled off towards third. 1-2 the count. So 5 hits on the day for Woolley. 3 runs scored, 1 run driven in.
Not a bad day.
It's not a bad month. That ball was ruled foul. Either hit home plate or hit the foot of Hill before trickling into fair territory. So we'll do it again. Count remains 1-2. Oh, just got a piece of that one, did Hill. She was fooled, I think, on that changeup. You've got Cannon in the on-deck circle if Hill can reach and keep the inning alive. Good block-up job by Wesolowski. She has been playing catcher every inning today. And she's going to need a nice long rest tonight when this day is over. Grounder off the glove of Marin. Throw to first. Won't be in time, and the run scores. Boy, the ball just glanced right off the glove of Marin, and there was nothing Hawkins could do. Even a good throw, Cody, I don't think gets the out at first base.
Yeah, I'm not sure it does. Just a very hard hit ball, and Marin does what she can, but it puts Hawkins out of position. And I'm not sure, even if she is in position, she makes it in time. The only way that you make that play a little better is if you just try and grab it with your throwing hand off the dirt and make that throw, but it's still a difficult play.
Yeah, and Marin was just reacting, right? I mean, I know some folks may watch that and go, let your defense make a play behind you, you know, but when you're an athlete and your reaction is just to, you know, get the glove out there, plus Marin defends the circle as an infielder so well. Just a tough break there from Mississippi State. A&M back on top by 6. They gained the run back they lost when State scored in the home half of the 5th. Cannon's at the plate. That ball's downstairs. Hill's now over at second after a wild pitch charge to Marin. '89 pitches now for Marin in the ball game. She's gone the distance. Has allowed 7 earned runs, 8 runs total, on 9 hits. Has walked 2. Has struck out 2. The ERA on the year now 2.43. Nice job to find the outside corner for a called strike. And the count is full.
It's what you want in those scenarios. Able to fight through it, get it in the strike zone, makes it a full count, gives yourself a chance.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. Beautiful pitch from Marin as Cannon strikes out looking. And that'll end the inning. A&M, though, is in the ball game for the Aggies as Brooke Vestal will become the 3rd different pitcher used in this game, 4th different pitcher overall today for A&M. And Vestal will face as her first Bulldog hitter Madison Kennedy, and she starts her off with a call of strike 1. There you see Vestal. An ERA of 2.07, so she's also been effective in the circle despite being the least used of Oklahoma's 4 pitchers. High fly ball. Madison Kennedy to straightaway center field. Her first hit of the game, and it's a home run, her 10th of the season. And one of the nation's leading sluggers greets Vestal rudely with a leadoff home run here in the 6th. Dogs trail by 5.
Who's surprised? If you're surprised, you shouldn't be. She's been doing it all season long and continues to do it. I mean, got all of that and sends it straight to center field, 220 plus feet. It's been impressive what she's been doing this season and how she continues to do it.
8-3 now the score. The Bulldogs still have a lot more work to do, but we'll see if that home run from Kennedy ignites something here in the later innings.
If you're Mississippi State, that's something you really wish you would have had some runners on base for, to add a couple of extra. I mean, one run is one run. You take what you can get right now and try and get yourself back into the game, but you really would have liked for that to be a 2 or 3 run shot.
So after the Kennedy home run, bases empty, no one out for Hawkins, who took the first pitch off the corner for a ball. That one downstairs for a ball. So 2 balls and no strikes on the Bulldog freshman second baseman Hawkins, who is 0 for 2 in the game. That finds the strike zone from Vestal. And the count moves now to 2-1. The Bulldogs now 5 hits in the ball game. There's a strike at the knees. So State has success against the starter, Levitt, and they've had some success here early in the appearance for Vestal, as Hawkins pulls one right at the third baseman Powell, a line shot that's grabbed out of the air for out number 1.
That's a solid hit for Salin Hawkins. It just right to the third baseman. If that gets over, you put that in the corner of left field and at least get a double out of it.
Off-speed offering to Wesolowski, who's out in front, and fouls it back left side, strike 1. The point I was trying to make before the line out off the bat of Hawkins was Ackerman, the middle pitcher for A&M, is, in my opinion, the difference in the ballgame.
Yeah, I would have to agree. You saw Mississippi State picking up success in the bottom of the third inning with Levitt. Had the bases loaded, scored a run, and then they go ahead and put Ackerman in, and she made life real difficult for Mississippi State. Didn't allow much, allowed the run in the bottom of the fifth. Otherwise, I felt like she was perfect. Which really, I should say, has felt like Texas A&M today has just done everything right, offensively and defensively.
Have not beaten themselves at all. Wesolowski flies one out to right, where Enright makes the catch, and that'll be out number 2. And it brings up Jesse Blaine. I'll tell you what, State would love to get, just 1 or 2 more runs here in this at-bat would go a long way to changing the way this ball game will be played in the 7th inning and maybe beyond.
Yeah, you score, like you said, 1 or 2 more runs. You might start the bottom of that 7th inning at the top of the lineup, and that's not a bad problem to have.
And you'd be back within striking distance at least. Blaine takes one off the inside corner for a ball, and the count evens up. Blaine 0 for 1 in this game, although she was hit by a pitch back in the third. She struck out looking her last time up in the 5th. Big cut right there. Almost swung out of her shoes, and that's going to be strike 2. So 1 and 2 now goes the count.
Yeah, off speed, just got her chasing, and great pitch from Vestal.
Oh man, again, got her to swing at a elevated rise ball. Vestal gets the strikeout. Kennedy, nonetheless.
I'm not sure they thought that Kylie Edwards was going to make that toss to second and still try and get her, but what a hit. Just sends it into the gap between left and center field at the warning track. St. Clair not quick enough to get there. Gets the relay throw back quickly, just not quick enough.
Yeah, let's see now what Coach Ford of A&M wants to do. Perhaps a pinch runner? Yeah. That's what's going to happen. A pinch runner at second base, replacing Cottrell for A&M is going to be number 21, Scout Lovell. We haven't seen Lovell in either game today. So Lovell at second with Maya Perez, the DP, at the plate. Perez didn't start the game, but was inserted into the lineup as a replacement in the 5th inning. Replacing Keely Williams, who got the start as the Aggies DP. And all Perez did her first at bat was on the very first swing, hit a single up the middle, and later on scored as part of that 5-run A&M fifth. That's in there for a strike, nicely done. Don't forget game 3 between the Aggies and the Bulldogs coming up for you tomorrow, early start time. We're going to start at 11 a.m. Central, weather permitting. Swing and a miss. Good job by Marin to challenge Perez on the inside corner. And Perez goes down swinging for Marin. That'll be her 4th strikeout of the ball game.
Yeah, and good pitch from Marin. The drop ball to get the strikeout, and something you kind of want in this 7th inning. You're down 5. You're not completely out of this, but you need to do everything you can to get out of this inning without allowing a run so A&M doesn't have any extra insurance, because putting up 5 runs in an inning is no easy task, and that is the task that they're already facing come the bottom of the 7th.
And excuse me, swing, that ball stays fair. It's picked up by Wesolowski and thrown to first in time. Hull, meanwhile, is your new MSU first baseman, replacing Kennedy, and that'll be out number 2 of the inning.
Got a piece of it, and it didn't stay fair by much, but it did, and she'll be out at first. It's got to be just a little bit aggravating if you're Enright.
Just barely got a piece of it. .100 pitches now thrown by Marin today from Mississippi State.
And the Bulldogs, I want to say, sitting at 250 pitches through games 1 and 2.
Yeah, they've had, even in the at-bats where the Aggies have not scored, it's taken a while to get the 3 outs. Grounder foul, third base side. Strike 1. 2 balls and a strike on Wiggins with Lovell at third base. A&M leading comfortably by 5 runs, trying to complete a doubleheader sweep on the road against 21st ranked Mississippi State. Off speed, Wiggins hits it high into the air, not very deep in right. Cook, who's back in the ball game in right field, makes the catch, and the inning is over. We had who will lead things off for Mississippi State. And Cody, the mission is, simple, not simple to execute, but simple to understand for the Bulldogs. They need base runners, and they need a bunch of them as they try to get back in this ball game down to the final 3 outs, down by 5 runs.
Yep, 5 to send it to extras, 6 to win it in the bottom of the 7th. Yeah, like you said, the objective is simple. Accomplishing the objective is very tough, and you get the bottom 2 in the lineup before you get to the top of the lineup, and you'd really wish that Edwards gets on safe.
There you go. Your wish is granted, as Edwards pulls one through into left for a solid base hit. And she has now been on base all 3 times in this game.
Has had some solid plate appearances, and that's step 1 for Mississippi State, is get on base. Now you have a runner on base, no outs. You get a pinch hitter for Briley St. Clair and Matalasi Fa'apito. You get her on base, you're at the top of the lineup with no outs, and that's some momentum you can work with if you're the Bulldogs.
First ball to Fa'apito is fouled back and into the stands, off to our right for strike 1. We saw Fa'apito in the circle pitching in game 1. We have not seen her before right now in today's action at the plate, as Vestal finds the strike zone, and Pito did not like that call at all. And she's in the hole, 0-2. Downstairs, good take right there. 1-2 goes the count. On the slugger, Pito, the two-way player, is getting a chance here to swing the bat, trying to get on base and set things up for the top of the order, Sacco. That's downstairs. Count evens up at 2 apiece. In 5 at-bats on the year, Pito has a couple of base hits, has driven in 2 runs, has been walked 3 times, and has scored a run. Hits one on the ground, right side. It's bobbled by Cannon, and everyone is safe. The first real mistake made in the ball game by A&M, and the Bulldogs have 2 on with no one out.
You take a look at it here, not a great hit from Pito, but at first, Cannon it slips out of her hand. The goal is to get runners on base, and you take whatever luck you can have that comes with it, and that's something we talk about. You want to get through the bottom of that lineup with no outs so you can get to the top of it where your better, consistent, heavier hitters are. And that difficult task in itself was accomplished from Mississippi State. Now you just got to put it all together and see if you can start piling some runs on in the bottom of the 7th.
And A&M will not
advantage of that late in game 2.
The runner at second is Edwards. The runner at first, reinserted for Pito, is St. Clair. And the top of the order is up, beginning with Sierra Sacco. She'll be followed by Barbary and Cook, barring a double play. Downstairs, so Kennedy has to get, I would imagine she was already getting re-loosened in the bullpen. We can't really see the bullpen from here, so we don't know, but either way, she has to get get the kinks reworked out as she gets thrown back into the fire here in the 7th inning. Not a close ball game, but still, it's a bit of an odd spot to get thrown into.
Yeah, it's not close, but it's definitely, it's not 100% secured for Texas A&M. There's still work to do, and you had to imagine just kind of weird going in, throwing a complete game, and you've been sitting the past 2.5 or so hours, or 2 hours, I should say, and then you got to come back and throw one more inning.
How that ball not hit her? Well, she missed badly off the inside corner, and I thought that ball was going to hit Sacco.
I think Sacco might have jumped a bit backwards to avoid it.
That's right down the middle. Now the count's full. All Kennedy did earlier today was go the distance and only allowed 2 hits and no runs. That's going to miss off the outside corner. Interesting that Cottrell, the catcher, framed up Kennedy so far to the outside. Sacco, there was no way that Sacco was going to take that bait. And now the Bulldogs have the bases loaded for Nadia Barbary.
Yeah, this is it's something you would like if you're State, but it also has its downfall if something without a lot of power or something straight to someone in the infield is hit. There is a potential double play right there, and A&M's that much closer to getting out of this ball game.
Barbary hits it foul territory. Is there a play to be made? Yes, there was. We couldn't see down there in the corner, but the catch was made, I believe, by Wiggins. Well, so Barbary couldn't do anything. Foul ball nonetheless. Ball comes in and misses off the corner. 1-1 the count to Aquana Brownlee, pinch hitting for the first time in the ball game. The senior from Houston, Mississippi, a .351 hitter on the year. That's just above the waist for a strike, and the count's 1-2. And Kennedy is working quickly here in the 7th inning. Misses outside. And she's almost working too quickly at times.
She is, yeah, she's getting in the circle and getting into position quick. I mean, really forcing the batters of Mississippi State to stay on their toes.
Oh, she went around. High velocity ball that may have missed the inside corner, but Brownlee tried to check the swing and went around. That'll be a strikeout. Now there are 2 gone.
Take a look at it. Way inside and just gets her swinging. Great pitch from Emily Kennedy. And like that, we get another battle of the Kennedys.
There you go. It's up to Madison Kennedy to keep the inning and the game alive for Mississippi State. Kennedy had a home run her last time up, her 10th of the season. But she is immediately in the hole, 0-2. State's got, believe it or not, the tying run in the on-deck circle.
It's been impressive what they've done in this inning, but 2 outs is what's hurting right now for them.
Kennedy will stay alive. The Bulldogs have yet to score a run in this inning, but there's been a hit, there's been an error, there's been a walk, and they have the bases loaded. That's going to be low and outside. Not a bad idea, though, with an 0-2 count. And the count's now going to be a ball and 2 strikes. So the Bulldogs slugger, Madison Kennedy.
I would have to imagine Madison Kennedy and Emily Kennedy both are aware of what each other can do. They're going to stay a little bit careful of trying to go into that bait. I mean, you went up early in the count. If you're Emily Kennedy, you can waste a couple of pitches. And for Madison Kennedy, you don't want to chase.
Kennedy up the middle. This will score at least 1. Edwards is home. St. Clair is home. Kennedy delivers. The Bulldogs are back within striking distance. It's 8-5, and the tying run will come to the plate.
And Madison Kennedy did exactly what she needed to do, just get a hit and put it in between short and second base. Wasn't too hardly hit that the center fielder was able to field it quick enough, but just in time to score 2 runs. And now, like you said, tying run comes to the plate.
And now there's going to be a meeting of the umpires. I'm not sure what Texas A&M's coaching staff has apparently called for a replay. But a replay of what? So they're going to review to see if we have runners interference at second base. Is that what I heard?
I believe so. And
or are they going to say the runner at second base left early? Because you can't leave the bag until the ball has been released by the pitcher.
So I believe they're, if it was second, I believe they're looking at St. Clair.
Yes, so they are reviewing to see if St. Clair left the bag. All right, so that was a very short review. And quite honestly, a waste of everyone's time. But hey, you've got the challenges. Why not use them, right?
You're in the bottom of the 7th. Why not use them? You've got 2 outs if you're A&M. Let's try and get the out and put this one to bed, but doesn't work, and we'll continue with a 3-run deficit for State.
St. Clair clearly did not leave the bag early, but what it did was it allowed A&M to get a timeout and maybe it calmed things down a little bit in the circle for Kennedy, who now pitches to Salyn Hawkins. Hawkins, one could argue she's due. She's 0 for 3 so far in the ballgame. Right now, Kennedy having a hard time finding the strike zone, and perhaps the strike zone has shrunk a little bit here in the last inning or two. The count is 3-0 to Salem Hawkins with Ella Wesolowski in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, and now the question is, do you imagine a strike's coming?
Right.
Do you go ahead and swing and risk a pop-up or something, or do you hold, take the strike, and see what's next and see if you can get a walk? That's the big question.
Oh, that was the pitch right there, and Hawkins could not quite get the bat around fast enough. The count is full. Big moment right here for the freshman and reigning SEC Freshman of the Week. She fights it off. Good job to stay alive.
Looked like the same exact pitch back-to-back from Emily Kennedy, and I think Kennedy knew it, and I think Hawkins knew it, and she wanted to try and go get it again, and resulted in the same result of a foul ball back to the net.
Oh, same thing. Just got the bat around fast enough to get underneath it and foul it back. So still A&M just one strike away from getting the second win of the day. Hawkins trying to keep the ball game alive. Ground ball, shortstop throws to first just in time, and the inning is over. So Kennedy comes into the circle and eventually shuts the door. Mississippi State
Every track you let's pause. Yo, listen up, let me take you on a journey. A quest for self-discovery, the path is never blurry. Through the highs and lows, we'll find our way in the depths of our soul, where our dreams lay. From the city streets to the mountain peaks, we'll search for answers when our spirit speaks. In the silence of the night and the chaos of the day, we'll seek our truth in every single way. And as this journey to ourselves, we'll rise and fall. Through the twists and turns, we hear the call of our inner voice guiding us along. In the pursuit of self, we'll find what we life. With this journey to ourselves, we'll rise and fall. Through the twists and turns, we hear the call of our inner voice guiding us along. In the pursuit of self, we'll find what we life. In the faces we meet and the stories we hear, we'll find reflections of ourselves, crystal clear. Through the trials we face and the battles we fight, we'll uncover our strength in the darkest night. With each step we take and each choice we make, we'll shape our destiny with every move we take. For the journey itself, it's a lifelong quest to discover our purpose and be our best. And as this journey to ourselves, we rise and fall. Through the twists and turns, we hear the call of our inner voice guiding us along. In the pursuit of self, we'll find what we life. So let the music play as we journey on in the pursuit of self till the break of dawn. For in the depths of our being lies the truth, and in the journey of self we'll find our youth. Yeah, on this journey of self we'll find our way through the highs and lows, come what may. For in the pursuit of self we'll come to see that the greatest adventure lies within you and me.